Yeah, go on.
Hello and welcome to this week's See You Next Thursday. At the moment, it's just myself and Ed's 75, whatever it is. Sorry, the screen went blank then for a second. I thought it all broken, but it's come back. So obviously not. I hope you're still listening, still hearing anyway. So it's just myself and Seamus O'Deep's the luck ender himself at the moment. But Ed 25, our very own sport, but he should be joining us soon. So, but we're just starting without him because obviously there's nothing to talk about involving Everton at the moment, is there really, Seamus? So,
No, there isn't.
I mean,
And that's gonna happen every time anyone mentions Everton fair play, points deduction on all the thing. Let's keep a counter on that.
yeah, I think it's going to be mentioned. It certainly gets mentioned all the time on the site. I'm pissed. Oh no, so we'll save it to when Billy's here because I don't think it's. We need to talk about it then. So let's start with Harry Maguire. Now apparently has turned it all around, and now he's suddenly the greatest defender in the world. Apparently, according to the Ghanaian Parliament, is that right?
And at least someone has owned up to being shown a bit off by Mr. Maguire, and because obviously he's turned the corner, proven himself to be a good player. But the actual thing that I really enjoyed is he had accused Maguire of scoring own goals against United, which he had, and now he's acknowledged him scoring goals for United instead.
Okay. I'm still not seeing what he's doing. I'm still, he's still not a great player, is he? Like, still not good enough for United. I don't understand why he's
He's
suddenly coming
but
out
but
talking
but
like
but
he's
the thing is,
suddenly the greatest player in the world again.
no, but the thing for me isn't whether he's great or not. He's from becoming a harmful uh, player for us in many ways, not just because of an unfortunate own goal here and there. I think just by being clumsy, nervous, and sending nervous energy throughout the team, he's become a bit less of a negative impact for us, and that's uh, an improvement, I must admit,
It's not.
because
It's not really a high bar he's got to get over, though, is it, to improve? Let's be honest.
yeah, but still, I have to hold my hand up and say I thought, especially with him looking like being pushed out the door, which he obviously was, to come back to the team and actually improve on your horrendous showing is something I hadn't expected of him, because I only expect bad things from him.
Yeah, but I think you've just lowered your expectations rather than he's actually doing anything worthwhile, personally.
Yeah, that is what I am saying. He had lowered the expectation bar so much that now, because he's not done anything bad. I'm I'm not I'm not praising him for being great or anything. Just the fact that he hasn't cost us games on his own. That's an improvement. And to be fair, he did score the winner against Copenhagen. He did assist one of the goals and all that. So at least for now, there is a reason for him to be selected in the England national team. At least he's actually playing football.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. But still, you would think there's ones that are actually still playing much better from that should be there.
Yeah, but you see that. But I was, because of purely out of boredom, I was listening to one or two chat shows discussing like where do England go from here, like what team is England likely to field for the Euro 2024 this summer, and it was almost unanimous that Maguire is going to be the starting centre back.
Yeah, but that's because Southgate's in charge rather than because he deserves it.
No, but even people when they were asked to voice their opinion, and their choices, preferences, being realistic. Everybody was quite positive about including Maguire, which I personally am a bit perplexed by, but still.
That's bizarre. That's just weird. Some reason that he's beloved by the media, and I've no idea why. Because he's an absolute moron, and and he's just a complete gobshite of a man, isn't he? Let's be honest. His arrogance is astonishing.
Yeah, with I can understand why media loves someone like Jack Grealish. He comes across stupid but not arrogant.
Yeah, he comes across as a dumb as one of the dumbest people you'll ever meet, but like nice guy. He's just nice but dim.
Yeah,
But
but with Maguire, it's like the more he talks, the more he just sounds deluded. Actually, not even
yeah,
arrogant.
yeah, he's gone beyond arrogance. It's gone to the point where you just think this guy's not right in there. He really, he's been dropped on it, hasn't he? Must have been to
Yeah, he
believe.
just buys into his own hype. It seems. At least that's the impression I get from it. But
But where did the hype come from in the first place? This is what I never understood. I mean, it's not like it's before he signed for United. I was saying I do not understand it. I didn't think he was very good before then. I really do not understand why certain players get massive hype, but for no reason. It just makes no sense whatsoever. And there's some players you can see why, even if they're not playing well, you can see there's something about them. You know what I mean? But yeah, me, he never had anything about him at all. He was always clumsy. He's always been a bit of a lump. But yeah, some reason the media love him. Strange.
yeah,
And
but
now so
who
does the
who would you
Ghanaian
have?
Parliament.
Yeah, but who would you have him? Like, who would you have instead of him in the England national setup? Because obviously you're a patriotic British guy,
Uh,
all for the Queen and everything. Oh,
yeah,
now it's God save the King, I guess.
I don't
That
know.
was the
I've taken no notice. I've gone. You know what? I am. Do you know what? I'd rather have Mings than him and Konza as a tip pairing because at least they play. Obviously Mings is injured at the moment, so that's him out. I don't know. Actually, it's a good question. Who would I pick at the moment?
I can throw some names right off the top of my head. There's like of Tomori, Gehi,
Gay,
Kielman,
yeah.
Max Kielman,
Mm,
Tarkowski,
no.
uh, Joe Gomez, but he doesn't get into the team that much.
What about the Everton player
Uh,
Brandweight?
he hasn't gotten a look in the national team, so I doubt he's gonna get put right
Really?
into the Euro team.
Wow, that's shocking because he's been the best English defender this season.
But I'm almost like certain he's not received
Is he
a
He is
national cap.
English, isn't he? Definitely. I'm
Yeah,
not
he is
getting it wrong.
English.
Yeah, I'm just checking.
Yeah.
I
He
suddenly
is
thought
English. I know.
maybe that's why, because otherwise
No,
it
no.
makes no sense. He's been head and shoulders above everybody on the Everton team.
He Carlisle, is it? Yeah, he was born in Carlisle.
Hmm. Yeah, I know he was born in England, but that doesn't necessarily make him English, does it? I mean, Matty Cash is about as Polish as I am, but he still plays for Poland.
I've never been to Europe, and I'm more Polish than Matty Cash. I can tell
Exactly.
you that much.
Before he got picked for Poland, I think you'd probably visited Poland as often as he had as well. And he's not the only one. That happens quite a lot. What about Scotty Arfield playing for Canada? He'd never even been to Canada until he got called up. It's quite a common thing in football. It's bizarre. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, we've come up with a few names. So anyway, you've come up with a whole list of them.
John Stones would be the actual
Yeah,
guy that starts
yeah,
alongside
it's bound to be.
anyone
Yeah,
who gets picked.
but I would go with Branthwaite personally. Miles ahead of Maguire as a player. So, yes, we move on to which bit? Arsenal. Let's talk about because Billy won't be interested in talking about Arsenal signing Raya on a permanent deal. It looks like it's about to happen, doesn't it? Or has it happened
Yeah,
already? Have I missed it
no.
and it's already happened?
The thing is, it was the deal was structured in a way that they were gonna sign him permanently. Otherwise, why would Brentford loan him out? And why would he sign a 1 year extension? Was it because his contract was ending next summer initially? It's, something radical would have had to happen for that
Hmm.
to not go through permanently. But still,
Yeah, but
it's a bit of a weird scenario. The whole goalkeeping thing at Arsenal.
but a lot.
Ramsdale coming up with one of the greatest interviews ever.
Oh yeah, saying he can't keep his concentration. So I mean, you can see why Arteta's wanting to replace him when he's admitting he can't keep his concentration for the game, and he has to turn around and take 5 minutes to mess about with the crowd and stuff, be distracted. And then there's that video of him being distracted by a pigeon and letting in a goal as well. Have you
And
seen that
Papa,
one?
yeah, I've
I
seen that
think
one
I
as well.
sent you that, didn't I?
And
Yeah.
obviously Papa Ram's still making sure it's even harder for him now.
Oh, you just think sometimes just shut up. That
At
that
least,
must
at
be
least
what he
if
was
he,
saying.
at least if he had kept quiet, Ram still both Papa Ramsdale and Aaron Ramsdale, if they just got on with things, then maybe another club would find them more of an interesting player to go after. But it just seems more and more like avoid, avoid, avoid.
Hmm. Well, he's still an Arsenal fan's cult hero, and that was an L, not an N. Just to point out. But yeah, I mean, it seems like now they're the only ones that still rate, but they don't seem to. The general consensus is reading Arsenal sites, not just our one, but like other ones, and like Arsenal fans talking online and that. Is that not one of them not one Arsenal fan I know of actually seems to think that Raya's an improvement on.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I was getting. That's the vibe I've been getting from this Arsenal supporters. It's not like there was a time period in time, maybe 6, 8 months ago, when roughly a year ago, when Arsenal were high flying and Ramsdale was showing some passion that he was actually the best thing since sliced bread. But now the vibe around him is like I've not seen Arsenal supporters saying Ramsdale is good. Most of the thing is like Raya he hasn't been anything like anything
I've
close
been
to an
worse.
improvement
Yeah,
yet.
yeah. That's they're not saying it's no longer Ramsdale's the greatest thing in the world. It's just Raya isn't any better.
Raya is no better. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's see. It will be an
yeah. I don't
interesting
see it with
career
Raya
to.
either. He's
Yeah.
okay, but he's not a. But then Ramsdale's not very good either. And after his comments and his dad's comments, and that you just think, no, I'd want rid of him too. I'd want to replace him as well if I was Arteta. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, but then they will have no backup goalkeeper again. Like, how many players is Arteta gonna go through?
Well, I think a
It's
backup
already
goalkeeper
what
should always.
27 plus. It's already 27 plus. So
Mm. But for me, a
let's see
backup
how
keeper
many you can get.
should always be a youth team player. I think I don't get this having to have a third choice and a second choice top class. It just makes no sense to me. Because they
Yeah,
so
but you need
rarely
you need a
play.
come on in this day and age with so many competitions and managers more willing
But
to
they so
rotate with
rarely
the
play.
goalkeeper.
The only time that it's worth doing, you're playing them in the cup, so that's why you have a kid because he can gain experience by doing it.
Yeah, but you need one experienced head as well because in the recent years, keepers started getting more injured. as a general
I'm still not
statement.
committed. I just don't like this having to have full teams of like extra players to cover it for injuries. I don't like it. It's just not for me. It shouldn't be. That should be the time when you give the kids a chance to play. What's the point in having a youth team if you're not going to give them a chance?
No, I think something like what is it like? For example, Liverpool have Allison and nailed on first choice. You have Adrian, who's there for experience and all, and you have Keller, so it's a decent mix. Both experience
Adrian's
is
not
in
there for
everything.
experience. Basically, they're coaches that can just play as
Yeah,
well. It's
isn't
ridiculous.
it?
It's
Yeah,
just a waste of for me, it's just a waste of wages.
yeah. But if let's
I
say
mean, they've got
come January,
There's Pitaluga, who's 3 times the keeper that Adrian's ever been. In fact, he's probably better than Kelleher, to be fair.
yeah.
So,
But getting back to Arsenal, if Ramsdale leaves in the January window, then they will have to bring someone in
mm, yeah, but for me,
because
it's either you
the third
replace
person.
Raya or there's just no point bringing in a keeper for me. I just don't see the point in it. The reason why you bring in Raya was to replace Ramsdale, which clearly he did. Otherwise, you just go
Yeah,
and not
but
improve.
then they moved on. They moved on Matt Turner and Ronerson, so they will need because if Raya gets suspended or injured, then you don't have a player to name on the bench.
Mm. Well, yeah, but that's why you have like I said, that's why you have a youth team. You should have 2 or 3 players in that good enough to get near the team. Or I think you should anyway. I know most people seem to think you should have 35, 35 first team players to choose from, but I just don't like the way football's going. It's just it's removing opportunities for kids to play, and we wonder why youth, the England youth system struggles to produce players. It's so difficult. So they don't get chances. I mean, people only want to play them when their team's 5-0 up and, cruising and things like that. It's like, no, that's not when a kid learns anything. They're gaining nothing by coming in a substitute appearance when a game's already won. It's just pointless. You may as well just not bother having them in the team if you're going to do that. Anyway, should we move on to
Let's move on to some international football.
international football? I was just going to mention a quick one on Marcelo Gallardo getting a job in Saudi Arabia, which is an interesting one. Because at one point he had Barcelona chasing him and Real Madrid and that, and instead he ends up in the Saudi league because there's no opening for him. When he does finally decide to leave River was River, wasn't it?
He
Some
left
point there,
River
yeah,
Plate a year or two ago actually.
yeah, and he's been trying to find a top job since, and suddenly the interest dried up in him. It's really bizarre. What did he do
Well,
wrong?
that's the issue. But that's the issue. Out of sight, out of mind.
Huh?
He
What?
was when he was doing like beats with River Plate winning trophies and all. He was hyped up and all. But then it's you take a sabbatical, I guess, is what you could call it. Whatever it is, you leave the club for mutual understanding, and then in a few months' time, someone else becomes the next great thing, and you just start to get forgotten about.
Speaking of management, though, while we're on the subject of managers, I was just thinking, I was not the Bielsa thing. I know we were talking about Bielsa. No, I was going to mention one other manager, Nagelsmann. He's having a tough time of it, isn't he? Since everything just seems to be turning to shit for him at the moment, doesn't it?
It's almost like Germany's like rough form, patch of bad results was not down to the quality of the manager
No.
employed, and moved on to the team. I wonder who might have said something along those lines.
Was it Billy?
This might just be the first thing you can put up in the correct causeway Lakenda.
No, I don't remember it, so I can't put it in now. I'm sorry. Ah, such a
I told you
shame.
when Flick was struggling that it's not the manager's fault as much.
No, I don't
There's
remember that
there's
one.
something
I'm sure you said Flick was
there's
turned out to
something
be
was
shit.
wrong. No,
Uh,
there's something quite troublesome with whatever's happening
I
in
don't know
German
how you
football
can say
generally.
that. I mean, they've got Kai Havertz at left back. Obviously, they've got a lot of good players. If they can afford to, what the fuck was that about? Kai Havertz at left back. I'd love Arsenal to play him at left back against Liverpool. Could you imagine
Yeah,
Salah up
that
against
would
him?
be nice.
Oh my god, he would have the day of it. It'd be like he'd think all his Christmases had come at once, wouldn't he? You know, you can imagine it when he sees the team sheet. What, you put me up against that? Oh, it's oh. He'd just be rubbing his hands together. I mean, that would. But I suppose it's a different thing.
Yeah, but
International football's so different, isn't it? Like,
whatever the football might be, Havertz has failed to even prove himself to be a decent like
anything.
number 10 midfielders. I'm just like purely from a defensive standpoint. I'm not even going to comment on his overall gameplay recently, but just purely from a defensive know-how, attitude, work rate, understanding, positioning, or anything you mentioned, he's not even shown himself capable to be part of a three-man midfield. Even a number 10 in a three-man midfield, and now you're playing him left back. Come on, Nagelsmann.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're saying it's because the players are
That's
bad, but I gotta say, I don't think he's helping himself, is he?
yeah, but that's self-sabotage. Come on,
Exactly. It's ridiculous. I mean, you're just trying to get the
you're
sack, aren't
telling
you?
me. Come on, you you're telling me this is not a half decent fullback, let alone a left back. You can move someone from right back to a makeshift left
Or a
back
defensive
instead.
midfielder, or a centre back, anything.
You could play fucking Mark Andre Ter Stegen there. It'd be better.
But do you think
At least he can protect the ball.
maybe Nagelsmann's got another job lined up, so he wants to get the sack quick? He's probably thought, shit, I can't just quit this, can I? I've only just taken it. I'm going to have to get myself sacked, get himself a nice big payoff, and take another job.
But who? He's not doing himself any favors because he was getting pelt, pelters in the media as well when he left Bayern or when Bayern sacked him. I don't know how, but his reputation got ruined. I actually know how, or I can give you a very good conspiracy around that as well.
Go on.
But oh, he was he quit. Like he broke up with his previous girlfriend and
Yeah, I know
yeah,
the
with a
girlfriend.
journalist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the journalist. Yeah.
yeah. His latest girlfriend was a journalist, so Nagelsmann was accused of leaking things to the media through his girlfriend because he was getting more and more involved with the whole Bayern thing and all. Then he gets sacked. The girl dumps him, is what I read.
Yeah, they did split
And
up.
then, yeah, and then he starts to get like hammered in the media as well. His time at Bayern, he starts to get painted in all his dark shade and all that. Now, what's happening with Nagelsmann? Is this just gonna go down? This what looked like a promising career.
It is, and it is looking like it's going down in flames. You know, it's looking like his whole career's just gone to shit now. I mean, I don't think the Germany job was a good choice for him. Let's be honest. it's in such a mess. It needs someone who's gonna stay and be a long-term one, and I don't think he's gonna get the chance. I don't think his star's high enough in the ascendancy anymore that he can hold out against, especially not with the media turned on him. Because the thing was, the problem he had is because he was favouring his bit of fluff. He his all the others were getting all the excuses were going to her and so all the other journalists of course turned on him, and obviously then he had what's his face, the goalkeeper Neuer,
No,
obviously briefing everyone against him and stirring up all sorts of shit because he's a complete bellend, that fella. Yeah, and he was causing loads of problems for him. So adding that, then when he's lost his girlfriend as well, suddenly he's not even got her on his side. He's in real trouble. Because you do need to have media on your side to a degree.
yeah, ask Eric Ten Hag. For all it's worth, we are at least on paper the form team in Premier League. But all the media coverage around us is we're one bad result away from a new manager. We've won like what, 5 out of 6 or 4 out of 5. But because Ten Hag isn't loved, and someone like Arteta or Guardiola, they're loved, so or even Eddie Howe, they're loved. So even like dodgy runs just don't get the same coverage in the media.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he does very much get the shit end of the stick, doesn't he?
It's almost like having friends in the media is it's almost like, oh, the perfect example I'll give you. Okay, Eric Ten Hag and Roberto De Zerbi.
Mm.
Brighton have won 0 games out of last 5 games.
And they've been awful as well.
De Zerbi is still getting touted as like the next great like the manager of the next decade, like the next game,
Yeah,
next
he's going to be the
Guardiola
one
and
to take
everything.
over from Guardiola. I've seen that kind of report.
Yeah, and our form is like 4 wins out of 5, and like Ten Hag is still not our, and like he's still not safe, and he needs a change, and he gets all the negative coverage and everything. It's weird how things work.
Mm. Yeah, it's just if they don't like you, they'll just say what they want, don't they? I mean, you only have to look at Sam Allardyce, Harry Redknapp. They could get away with anything because the media love them. Um, um, yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm in the
I,
form
I,
of.
I would have
I know
said
United haven't.
Nagelsmann to United, but that's another man who's made in hell.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a not a good time for any. I don't think it's. To be honest, I don't see the value in changing Ten Hag at the moment. I mean, you've got to give Brailsford
I
Scruggs
think I think
times to
like
work for a while first, obviously.
he's not even come in. Come
Oh,
on,
but he will
stop
be
the
there. Let's be
accusation.
honest. We all know that's what he does.
Yeah, but that's not even been announced officially. Come on.
Yeah, but we all know he will be there because he's Ratcliffe's best mate. Which is why which is and when anyone says he's
Yeah, but my point. Come on, you're not listening to me. I'm just telling you. Ratcliffe isn't actually in through the
yeah,
door. He's still waiting
yeah,
outside.
yeah, but will be there soon.
Yeah, but the Glazers. By the time the Glazers decide, it might be 2050 actually.
Yeah, that's true. No, I think this one. I think it's pretty much done now, isn't it? It's just a case of completing it, and that can take months. Because like you only have to look at the Man City one. Everyone thinks it happened overnight because they, as soon as it was announced, they brought in Robinho. But that was a show of
In
good
good
faith.
faith.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was done months before the takeover was actually completed. It took them till they missed out on the January window before it was completed after the January window. So whatever, that's 3 months alone, isn't it? September,
I would.
January. So it took that long to complete it after it's announced.
Does Radcliffe need to go through the fit and proper test? Like there is one, like at least on paper there is. Does he have to
I
go through
don't
the?
know. It depends on how much he takes on, doesn't it? It depends on what he's exactly how
Yeah,
many
but 20.
his
I think
percentage.
it's reported to be 25%, and that's a
Oh yeah,
significant.
then yeah, he will. If it's 25%, but no, it's not
But
no
but if
voting right. It's
but if
it's
it is, yeah, but if
it's
it is like a fit and proper test, then it's gonna take some time. If
yeah.
the Newcastle takeover is the one to put, like use as
Yeah,
a
but the
yardstick.
Newcastle takeover had, because they were Saudis and they had to write a um
Yeah, they had to show themselves to be different from the government.
yeah, they had to
Yeah.
pretend they weren't really part of the government, even though they are clearly part of the government, and that the guy in charge wasn't a member of the Saudi government, even though he is a minister in the Saudi government, and but it wouldn't be run by the Saudi government at all because they'd have it's absolutely no involvement, even though they then said that he was involved, heavily involved in the Saudi government in court later in the US when during the PIF thing fight over the Gulf, the Live Gulf, sorry, thing, you know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah, they're taking over every sport.
I certainly are. I mean, they got the World Cup soon. It's quite.
They're even interested in fucking cycling, and there is like no money and no real promotion and sponsorship and anything like anything that is sports. They're just after it, man.
Yeah, they just want to. They've always tried to. Like I said, it's a lot more than there's a lot more to it than just promoting
I
themselves
think
around the world.
they're not even in it to make money.
Yeah,
That's the worrying thing.
well,
If
it's
it
like I
was
said,
for a
it's a
business standpoint,
yeah, it's also well they when the Arab Muslim mentality is when they're investing is they're meant to anyway. This is how I was explained to me by when I was out in Dubai. They explained to me that what they do is they invest the money for their grandkids rather than for themselves. If you see what I mean. So they're looking that far ahead rather than looking at what'll come good, what'll bring in them income. They don't need it. They've got plenty of money. But when their grandkids are there, they've got like some of them have got five, six, seven, eight wives, nine wives, whatever, and like multiple kids with each wife. You know what I mean? So the money's going to be watered down. Even if they had all that money, it's still going to be watered down to split between lots of people. So they've got to have they've got to have an investment for the long term. So when they're investing, they're not looking at today. They're looking at 150 years away as well. So do you know what I mean? So, like, when they're looking at cycling, you're saying it's not a big sport at the moment, but they probably see it as they invest in it and they can make it one. It was at
it's
one time when Lance Armstrong was there for it. It was huge, wasn't it? I mean, it was massive when he was there.
I was nearly gonna say I'm too young, but that
Mm,
would be a lie. I'm
yeah,
not too
we all
young
know
for
it's a lie.
Lance Armstrong.
Yeah, we know that.
But he'd be a match made in heaven for these.
Brailsford. Oh, sorry. For the Saudis, you
No,
mean? Yeah.
not the Saudi. These financial doping teams.
Oh, yeah, Man City and that as well, yeah.
He should actually be their poster boy.
Well, it probably is. He certainly is Pep Guardiola's because they use the same doctors at times. Though of course Pep tended to favour Fuentes. rather than the one that the one that Lance Armstrong
Armstrong.
used mainly, but they all used Fuentes as well. Lots of footballers, but particularly Pep Guardiola when he was at Barcelona, Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Real Madrid, Spanish national team. Oh, there's a lot more. I believe Bayern were implicated as well, but I think that was people just
I
saying that
think
because
Bayern
Pep
actually
Guardiola
proves.
went there.
Yeah, Bayern actually proves that it's a Guardiola thing.
Yeah, because it was after he went there, and there were, when he sacked all
Yeah, he
the
got rid
fitness
of their what?
coaches and that because they weren't
So yeah,
dealing
people
enough
that
drugs.
were around there for like 2 3 decades, like that kind of long-term service, and Guardiola got rid of them to
Yeah,
bring
but
in his own people.
yeah, because he wanted the Brailsford types who'll give him drugs.
It's quite weird to see that the whole British cycling scene has gone taken at least like a few steps back after Brailsford jumped into football instead with Jose Sinis.
Well, I mean, it was
It's
already.
a weird coincidence. Come on.
Yeah, well, it's not just that. It's also there's also the fact that all the people were starting to find out about what he was up to, and so that's why he jumped sports. Really, get out of there quick before the thing, before he gets caught with his hands in the till, so to speak. Oh, Billy's struggling to connect.
What were we talking about, by the way?
I can't remember what we started. Oh, we started about talking about Gallardo, and then we went on to Nagelsmann.
But how does that end with? Ah, yeah, okay. I think Germany and Manchester United are a pretty similar situation. The the team seems to be down in the dumps and not purely down to just the manager himself. So, and like I say with United, I say the same thing with Germany. A change the manager isn't gonna solve the problem, as we've already seen with the appointment of Nagelsmann. So maybe we can learn from the German national team and solve our main issues first, and then think about papering over the cracks, not crabs.
Don't know. Crap's kind of suited when you talk like that. I thought that worked well.
That's just no. That's the brain just like changing the words because they're synonyms. Manchester United crabs like.
While we're on the subject of international football, before we move on to the next topic, I just want to, managers are actually doing well rather than badly. Like, Bielsa has been absolute brilliant for not just Uruguay, but for Liverpool as well.
That
Hey.
yes,
Yeah, I know we
best
were
thing to
talking about it
happen.
while we were getting set up. Yeah, he's been absolutely brilliant for Liverpool with Nunes.
Hello.
Oh, here he is.
Speak of
Uh-oh.
Nunez, and here comes fanboy number one.
Thank you. I
How did you get it fixed?
just checked for some things on the left-hand side, and it finally come on.
So you just clicked on it and it worked. Well done, that's good.
No, I clicked on loads of things, and I went back onto the general, and then it's just come on. So I don't know what's happened.
Wow, you never know, do you, Bill? Even when you're doing it normally, like you never know what you're
No,
doing.
no. I'm usually all right actually with this dog, but it was a bit of a bitch, so I loaded it twice, and finally come on. Anyway,
How are you? We've been
right.
up and running anyway
Oh,
for you, mate. So we've just been
oh,
talking
good.
about things that would, we didn't think you'd be too interested in to start with. So
You're great stuff.
yeah,
No, but
yeah, and
come on.
international.
Billy is so interested in Darwin Nunez that
He
as soon
jumped
as
on,
he
yeah,
heard his name, he had to jump on.
yeah. He couldn't wait, could he?
I happen to like Darwin actually.
I
I've come round to him. Come
Captain
round to him now.
Chaos, love him. He's,
Yeah,
I
he's
love
Captain
him.
Chaos. Whoever gave him that name, that is the perfect nickname for a
Oh,
player to
he's
describe
just,
a player. He is chaotic.
he's just
I
wonderful to
don't think he knows
watch.
what he's doing half the time himself, but he's threatening, isn't he? You definitely don't want him running at you. That's for certain.
Yeah, he's not someone you want on the opposition team, is he? He's someone you want sat on. Yeah, you're thinking just please don't play him today. That's what you're thinking of the opposition
Yeah,
team.
I'd sooner be up against Diaz, to be honest with you, than what I would against Nunes. I think he's more of a threat because of his speed. I know Diaz is quite fast, but he's frightening at times when he's
Hang on,
running people.
hang on, Billy. Are you throwing say that Luis Diaz? I just won Colombia the game against Brazil.
Mm. Yeah, and
Yeah,
That-
that one's
he's in the FIFA Team of the Week. What? No, it's not FIFA now, is it? EAFC, sorry, Team of the Week this week because he played so well in the international break.
right. I don't think he's as good as Nunes personally, but that's just
Depends
a personal punch.
They do play different positions, to be fair. Nunes is a striker and he's a winger.
Yeah, he
he
sets
does
him to
struggle.
the left all the time, though, doesn't he? He does tend to stay on the left. Nunes, I think that's his strongest point, actually. I think they're both on both vying for the same spot for me. I know he's coming inside at times, but he prefers it on the left, I think, what I've seen of him.
Oh, he just plays up front now. He plays better when he links well with Salah because he plays in the centre now. He's not as good
Yeah,
on the left. He's definitely better in the centre. For me.
He's very good. He is very good.
To be fair, what's his name? Luis Diaz struggles a bit with his end product.
At
He's
times,
He's,
yeah.
he's inconsistent at best.
He's been better this season. Last season he was poor. He's been better, well, right up until obviously his dad and his mum and dad got kidnapped, and then obviously, so we've yet to, yet to see what it's like. I mean, it's when he's cutting. The first thing his dad does in an interview is say about his son loving Barcelona. It's like, what the fuck, you've been invited
Yeah.
you've been invited to Liverpool to come and watch a match and all that as well, like. When you got, and his first interview, he talks about how his son wants to play for Barcelona. It's like, oh God's sake, what?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just don't get it, do they? These South Americans, how disrespectful that is.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Especially though the love that was poured out to him, and good wishes from the club, and they've done everything for him. Let him have time off, and I thought the club treated him. I know supporters treating him very well, which they should do as well. But as you say, you'd expect a little bit more back than that. In that case.
Yeah, I just don't talk about it now. Just leave it until later.
Yeah.
There's no transfer window anyway, is there, at the moment? So what's the point in having a chat about? And Barcelona can't afford him anyway.
Oh, I was just gonna say that. He can dream of joining Barca as much as he can, but boy, you have to either buy yourself out or run the contract out.
Yeah.
Barca negative 2 billion.
Yeah, they're in.
Yeah, they have negative 2 billion in the bank, so dream on.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're even still in existence. It's insane.
Billy, negative 2 billion in the bank and 0 points deduction. Messi is not better than Everton.
I tell you what, Bill, this is the thing I want to ask you. What's it feel like to be the first team to lose points in the international window?
Not great.
I mean, it's nobody else, no club has ever managed to drop points in an international window till Everton come along and said, "Hold my beer." This is how you do it.
Let's make history.
Yeah.
We are a club of firsts, definitely. Yeah, I thought it was a bit harsh myself. I don't know how you feel. I thought it might have been a little bit less than that, maybe 6 points. Maybe an embargo on transfers after them, liaising with the Premier League for so long, and everything seemed to be okay. I know, I've always said from the start, if Everton have, breached, which they have, the FFP rules, they deserve to be sanctioned. I just think 10 points was a little bit over the top.
I'm going to disagree with you because I'm just going to explain why. It's because they lied through their teeth about the reason for being over the limit. With them saying, the absolute blatant lies about the pandemic costing them 10 times what it cost every other team in the world.
I can see that.
For me, I think they've got off lightly.
That's embellishment, yeah.
I think they've got off lightly because of that. I do, because 10 points isn't.
I don't think we got off lightly.
What's it going to do? It's not going to relegate you. It's not going to cause you
any
problems. So I just don't see that it's a punishment with no consequence. It's not even.
It's going to stop us getting in Europe.
Yeah.
It's going to stop us getting in Europe. That's the main thing for me.
Yeah, I don't think you were going to get in Europe anyway. Let's be honest. Even if it went down to 14 teams, I think you might have struggled.
I was being pedantic, yeah. I know. But
yeah, it's not. It just doesn't feel like you've been actually. So I don't think it matters one way or the other whether they're giving you 6, 10 or 20. Really, it's not going to.
There's more to come. Believe me. Yeah. I think there might be more to come. Yes, if people start suing us, we might go into administration. That could be another 9 on top of that, which would see us relegated. I believe that.
Why would you go into administration just because someone sues you?
Because we haven't got 200 or 300 million to actually pay it off.
But you wouldn't be paying 200 or 300 million up front. This is what people are forgetting. You would agree a payment terms that over a period of time.
Well, they accept 30 bob a week. That's the thing.
They'd accept a reasonable amount that the club can afford. That's what the courts would accept. You know what I mean? If you got found, this is what people seem to forget: is that the job isn't to put you out of business. Their job is to make sure that if you've got to pay compensation, that you actually pay it. They're not, they don't want to put you out of business so the injured parties don't get their compensation. So because nobody benefits then. So this administration.
I think there's only two.
It's just clickbait stuff to get scaremongering to get people panicking and clicking on stupid links that are irrelevant.
I believe there's only 2 that can sue anyway, which is Burnley and Leicester. The only 2 who can sue. Because the others would have gone down anyway, so they haven't got a leg to stand on. But I believe Burnley and Leicester have got a case. But the Premier League, the committee that sat, who are going to sits on that committee, have said that they've got a case. So we have to see how that way pans out,
Well, yeah,
but I believe that they should have been sanctioned. I've said all along, if Everton are guilty of defrauding or lying, which they are, they deserve a ban. I just think 10 points. I think it sets a precedent now that for anyone who breaches is going to get 10 points. Some of them possibly more, because that's only one case. Ours is only one case. Yeah. A big case, don't get me wrong. But what's going to happen to Man City? What's going to happen to Chelsea?
And Spurs.
Portsmouth. Yeah, there's a few who are going to come into it,
Anybody that says the FA, that football's not corrupt, just look at the Spurs Portsmouth case, and this isn't the first or last or only time that it's happened with regard to Spurs and things being shoved under the carpet. This is something that, like I keep saying it, they're very much favoured by the FA. They've changed rules to suit them, to avoid them getting punished in the past. And this is no surprise to me. Anybody who says the FA is not corrupt and that football's not corrupt just has to look at what happened with this Spurs Portsmouth case and how they got away with it. That's corruption. Pure, blatant corruption.
I think so as well, actually.
It's the way it always goes with Spurs. I take it you've seen this, have you, Seamus? The Spurs Portsmouth case?
Spurs Portsmouth Defoe.
Yeah, Jermaine Defoe, they used a registered agent at the time when it was illegal to do so. And they knew it as well. This isn't something that, this is.
I was glad to go on. I was glad to hear about Pep when he was interviewed about on TV about is he worried about the FFP claims now 115 counts against Manchester City, and he said no. To be fair to him, he said he's had assurances of all the people at Manchester City that they've done nothing untoward, and he actually said, if they have, I will be walking away and we won't be friends anymore. That's what he said.
He's just lying through his teeth because he's one of the ones taking under the counter payments. He was fully involved in when Barcelona were paying off referees. He was one of the main movers in that. So, when you're telling me Pep Guardiola is saying, oh no, it's all within the rules, I just think, well, we know you're a cheat and a liar anyway, so,
Well, he said if they do get found guilty, he'll be walking away, that's what he said. That was just...
Yeah, right. I'll believe that when I see it. What he means is he'll run before he gets found out as being part of it all.
Yeah.
That might be what he means, because he is definitely not clean. Not even in the slightest. I mean, forget the drug claims at Bayern and Barcelona and Man City. There's the simple fact that, like, he's been getting, he was involved when he was at Barcelona when they were paying off referees. I'm fully involved in it because he was being briefed by the referees. And also, like, he's the one of the ones that was found to be taken under the counter payments from when they were hacked. So, to say he's been assured and all this, he's just lying through his teeth again. It's disgraceful, really, that he's allowed to say these things and nobody questions him on them. If that was Ten Hag saying it, for example, or Sean Dyche, because he doesn't get an easy ride from the media either, he gets a lot of stick. They'd be challenging on it, but because it's Pep Guardiola that says it, people just, okay, we'll believe you then. Okay, Pep.
Where do we think that the 10 points deduction for Everton leaves Chelsea and Man City trips? Where do you think it leaves them?
For me, I don't think it should. I don't think what they've done is a points deduction is even relevant or enough for them. They've got to be stripped of titles and relegated, both of them. All their trophies they've won have got to be stripped. Got to be. Everton couldn't be stripped of trophies because they didn't win any, even with the So you can't, that can't have been, they can't have set a precedent there anyway. But, like, you've got to strip them of the trophies they've won. Otherwise, you're saying it's okay to cheat. You still take your trophies with you, and you still keep them in your history. You've got to. That's the first thing. I'm not talking about you don't have to hand them on to anybody else or anything like that, because I don't think that's the right way to go about it. It's too late now. If they, even if it was, you can't go back and strip. But they've got to be stripped of all their titles and trophies and relegated, both of them. Because what they've done is pure, blatant outright cheating of a sort that's worse than anything the Juventus were doing during Calciopoli. to a far
Do you
higher
think
level.
that'll happen, Tris?
No,
Do you think it'll happen? That's
no.
another thing.
They'll pay a bribe, I mean a fine, and that'll be it. That's what's going to happen. I mean, Chelsea will get away with it because they'll go easy on them because they'll say, yeah, but Bowley brought it to our attention. Yeah, he brought it to their attention because the Guardian were about to release a piece. They got warned that the Guardian had done research and were about to release Guardian and some others. I can't remember the other media places. Were about to do we're in the middle of producing an article about this, what had gone on. That's why, because they knew it was about to come out in the media, so they got in ahead of it. It's not like they were doing, they were doing the world a favour, like when they
No,
just,
no.
I mean, obviously it's not his fault, and he can't take any of the blame for it. But to say he's, they're going to go easy on him because of that, I just think you can't. I know it's not his fault, and it may seem harsh, but you've got to punish him. And you've got to punish them harshly because what they've done is far worse than anything that went on in with Juventus and that. This has gone way beyond those kind of levels of cheating.
Right.
And it's the worst of it is the Man City. It's the way they lie through their teeth and say they've already been found innocent of so many charges and all this, even though they weren't. I mean, how are they allowed to say that?
They were timed out. They were timed out, weren't they? So,
Well, not all of them. So they paid a fine. Like I said, they just pay a bribe, and then nobody questions them when they say, "Oh no, we were found innocent." Well, hang on a sec, you weren't. You were fined. How is that being found innocent? And why are you allowed to say? Why does UEFA not sanction them every time that? Every time a Man City spokesman says that the club was found innocent, Man City should be punished every time that anybody connected with Man City says that, they should be getting sanctioned for it. I don't know what kind of sanctions you bring, but you've got to sanction them for it because you can't just keep allowing them to lie about it. I mean,
what sort of time frame do you think we're looking at, Trish, for the Chelsea and the Man City
well, Chelsea haven't actually been charged yet. Same with Spurs, they haven't even got they probably haven't even got the paperwork or anything because they'll have lost it like they did with Spurs, because they obviously they don't want to punish a London club, so they'll have lost it, and they'll probably lose the Man City stuff as well, half of it, because because people will pay them, they enough palms will get greased, and half it. It's going to take years. Especially the Chelsea one, it depends on how hard they fight it when it comes, which I can't see it do. They're really, to be honest, they're not. Can they really fight it when they've admitted? The only thing they can do is defend themselves by saying it wasn't anything to do with us, the new ownership. And so I think they'll probably they'll just get a slap on the wrist and get away with it, even though they should be stripped of the titles, because they wouldn't be in the position for Bowley to come in and spend that many billions on the club if they hadn't spent that money. Roman Abramovich hadn't cheated to get them in the strength, get them those titles, to put them in a position where they're European champions a couple of times, you know what I mean, under him. And, after the league trophies they've won and the FA Cups and that, without them, Bowley wouldn't have been interested in paying billions for them, would he?
No.
So, there's a very real correlation between him coming in and owning and those trophies. So, he has to just say, you just have to say tough shit. If you don't like it, it's not our problem. We've got to punish you because the club's benefited from cheating. So you've got this, but you're talking. I mean, they haven't even been charged yet, so it's going to be years. And City will just keep dragging it out. What do you think, Seamus?
I think Everton are rightly gonna feel bad for it because it's one offense. They've cooperated and everything. Chelsea, I cannot accuse them, like you said, of being incooperative and trying to disturb the investigations and all that. But City is quite clear, at least as a Manchester United supporter looking from the outside. It's pretty obvious to see that they're doing everything they can to disrupt the whole investigation, trying to make it hard for any evidence to come out for them to get sanctioned and everything. And if City aren't gonna get, if Everton are gonna be used as an example, then City should be, they should be fearing for their life. But sadly, it won't happen because Guardiola has already said many times that they're innocent, and I
Yeah.
think that is the letter of the law. Whatever Guardiola says is
Yeah.
it's either fact or you're wrong.
Yeah, even if he's lying, it's still true. That's how it works, isn't it?
Yeah, looks that way. Yeah, the other guys aren't too happy with what they got, to be honest with you. I know you think it's pretty fair. I think it's a little bit harsh myself. I was expecting 6, to be honest with you. I was expecting 6.
You know, if it had
I know,
been,
I know
if
it's
it'd
not
been
going
last
Billy,
season,
but Billy, for
Go on.
this season,
yeah, if it'd been
you
last
you must
season,
you
it's
must
harsh.
be so you must be so like perplexed, like how you can get minus 10 points, what, 10 games, 12 games in, and
Yeah.
not even be bottom of the table. That must that must be an anomaly of it itself.
Yeah, normally you'd be
You
cut,
get
you'd be cut adrift
you
at the
would be caught
bottom.
adrift. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You'd be caught adrift otherwise. But you're not even bottom of the table.
Yeah,
You could be out there relegation this week, but to be honest with you.
exactly. And you will be, because let's face it, the teams at the bottom are so shite. You'll stroll to. That's what I'm saying. It's just not that harsh. If it had been another season, you could argue it was harsh. But this season, it's fair. It's barely more than a slap on the wrist, is it? The only thing it's going to do is cost you a few million in prize money because of the places you lose. But even that's not cast in stone because, like, you know, it could fire up the team and get them actually playing better, and you could end up finishing in the same position or even higher than you would without it. So,
Hopefully, yeah.
and you certainly get the fans on side.
Yeah. What do we think about this? I know I'm just moving on a bit here. The the clubs being allowed to play to get players from teams they're associated with.
Yeah, the vote.
Like, yeah, the vote. Yeah, Newcastle and well, Stoke City come into that, don't they?
Yeah, City,
Um,
Wolves.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace and Lyon have some sort of tie. I've recently learned. Uh, we already know about Lorient and Bournemouth. There's Chelsea and Strasbourg.
Yeah. So it's just self-interest, which is why it's a ridiculous system they've got in the Premier League. You know, you've got,
Brighton have a tie with USG as well.
yeah,
Let's not forget about that one. Nottingham Forest have a tie with Olympiacos.
Brentford have Midtjylland. I think they voted against it, didn't they? Voted for it.
Yeah. Everton have no money, so they don't have any ties.
No.
Luton have no money, so they have no ties.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
777 have.
Oh yes, Everton have ties now.
Yeah.
That's a good
Forgotten.
shot.
Yes.
They've got quite a few clubs now actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Either own or stake in quite a few clubs. There's Genoa. There's one in. I think
They haven't
it's
signed on the
South
dotted
America.
line yet. They haven't signed on the dotted line yet, so that's
Yeah.
a bit premature.
Yeah, but that's why Everton weren't so keen on the ban. For me, I don't like loans in general. I just think it's a well, Juventus used it to get and Ferguson used to do it at Man United. They used it to get favours in return. You know, they'd loan teams players, and in return they'd expect favours, and they'd call in favours at times. And that, for me, it's corruption. It's a form of corruption. It shouldn't be allowed because it's falsely altering the league setup. You know what I mean? And the competitiveness of the league by loaning teams players that they wouldn't otherwise get. Scrap it. Just don't allow loans. Full stop. That's what I'd do.
I can see your point there.
I don't like teams having more, owners having more than one team. Ban that as well. Let's just put a stop to it. It's simple. If you own a club in the
Yeah.
if you own a club in the Premier League, you can't own another football club. Full stop. So then you can't have no worries about this fucking loaning teams players and whether Saudi Arabia going to loan Neves to Newcastle or whatever.
I am against that one. I am against that one, Chris. If you've got the money and desire and everything, then you should be allowed to own multiple clubs. Just make sure there's no real like player movement between those teams.
I think it promotes corruption, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
For me, I don't like it because of that. I think we're trying to get corruption out the game, but it's there for everyone to see, isn't it? You can deny it as much as you want, but it's corrupt.
yeah.
The Premier League's corrupt.
It's easy to see. You only have
Yes.
to look at Forest and Olympiacos. Olympiacos couldn't afford to buy players, not this summer, but the summer before. So Forest bought two teams with the players and just sent them off off the players, so that they had so that they had better players than they could have otherwise afforded. That's not fair. That's not right. That's corrupt. That's cheating to me. And the way you only have to look at the way the Pozzos did with Watford and with the other teams,
Granada,
Verona and Granada.
not
Yeah,
Verona, Udinese and Granada.
Udinese. Sorry, what did
That
I
was
say?
shit.
Verona. What did I say? Oh, stupid. Sorry. Yeah, Granada and Udinese. Yeah, the way they just swap players around willy nilly. Nobody even knows who's owned by what club anymore half the time. So it's just, why you shouldn't be allowed. And I know then they'll just they'll just do, they'll sign it over to their accountant and things like that, won't they? Say
That's a shame.
say a Mr.
That-
Bashiri will take the ownership instead of us, things like that. But at least then you've got you can what's going on, so you can keep an eye on it. You know what I mean? And if they try and break any laws, you can keep an eye on it. But yeah, I mean, I just don't like it because this is what, like I was saying, Juventus used it to leverage other teams when during the Calciopoli and all that, and every other cheating scandal they've been involved with, which is probably about 50 by now. I've lost count because there was another one just last season, wasn't there? Or season before, was
they
it?
were no, last season they were talked. I think 15 points initially, and then
Yeah.
that was taken back, and then they were talked what 18, however many points. I'm not sure on the numbers, but
Exactly.
at one point they were second, and then they were not second, and they were out of Europe, and then they're back into Europe.
Yeah, it was last season, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
just
was
so
last
often
season.
with them, you get so confused. It is literally all the time, isn't it, with them?
Yeah, but that even harmed them as well, because at one point they were the second best team in Italy, and then after I'm pretty sure it was 15 points to begin with. After 15 points, they were like, "What's the point? We're not gonna make it into Champions League." When that got taken back, that points deduction, then they were again back into the fray. Mourinho was complaining because I thought we were gonna like, because of the points deduction, we're gonna get somewhere else, and then now we're gonna keep getting somewhere else. Italy is always the best.
Yeah, it really is, and then they wonder why their football's struggling. So, yeah, nobody wants to.
Yeah, it's awful.
And this season it's obviously all the for illegal baiting, gambling.
Yeah, Florenzi being the latest.
So
Who's the latest?
Florenzi.
the right back
Yeah.
currently at AC Milan. It seems to be AC Milan problem or what?
Maybe it's just that they're the ones that they've been able to find out about. So, somebody's probably spilled the beans. Who's in
I
Milan?
wonder. I'm only speculating, so don't try to kill me. But I wonder if there was an ex Milan legend who was working for the club that got fired recently. Someone with the initials of PM. I don't know. I'm only speculating.
Well, I tell you what, I tell you what, if you want to piss off the Milan fans, though, and turn them against your team,
Ah, I
you
don't
know,
know any.
you immediately, if you want to make them turn on you and try and take you down, yeah, that's the way to do it. You fire the greatest player they probably ever had. And it was quite humiliating as well, the way he was kicked out, wasn't it? It wasn't like
Maybe that actually might have some legs to it.
Hmm.
Maybe someone who is actually an AC Milan supporter is involved in the beatings, and
Exactly.
now there is a chance. Now that's a very fair point.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that you just say, "You bastard! How can you do that to him?" I mean, he is the legend in Milan. You
He
know,
is Mr. Milan, so
yeah,
yeah.
even the Inter fans though will respect him. You know, there's not many players that have played for AC Milan that are respected by Inter fans. He is one of very few. I take it you know who we're talking about, don't you, Bill?
No.
Oh, Paolo Maldini.
Oh,
Paolo
yeah,
Maldini.
right, okay, yeah, I get you
Maldini, I
now.
mean, sorry, I just suddenly thought you were very quiet, so I thought we
Yeah,
suddenly,
you know, still trying to work it out.
yeah. Paolo Maldini was recently fired. It was quite humiliating the way they just booted him out, didn't they, Seamus?
All
Unceremoniously, and
right.
he's given basically his entire career to them. So
He
yeah,
was a great
No,
player.
it's not just him.
Great
It's not
player.
just him. It's
it's
his father as
yeah.
well. It's a Milan is basically a Maldini dynasty, so it must have hurt a bit more than
Yeah.
it normally would.
It was. I didn't understand why you don't sack Maldini. You just don't. When you're Milan, it's just you've got Maldini working for you. You just if if he's not working out in the role that he's got, you find him something else, don't you? You just you don't sack the man.
But he was actually working out in that role as well. It's not like
Yeah, this is the thing.
they had they were the defending champions. Speaking of last season, they were the defending champions, and they finished in the Champions League position, and they went into the semi-finals, which was an overachievement by itself. And their Dortmund have no money. They're
Yeah.
owned by vulture capitalist, is what it would say.
Mm, yeah, it's just a bit of a mess there, isn't it now? You can't sack Maldini though. I mean, there's just certain things you can't do.
Yeah.
Well, Paolo Maldini's untouchable in Milan, I would have said, until the day they actually did sack him, and it was such a shock. I wasn't sure if you'd have heard about it. That's why I thought yeah. Yeah. Anyway, back to the other thing. So this betting thing. Do you think there's a chance that it was because obviously it happens in England as well, but it's a bit different
Yeah.
because in Italy any kind of betting for footballers is for sports people is they're not allowed to gamble full stop, when they're in professional sport. So that's why they're doing these illegal bookmakers, which is where they're caught. This is where they're being caught because they've got them from the illegal bookmakers. So it's a bit different case, you know what I mean? It's not just like, betting on football. They could be betting on anything and they're still in trouble. So,
That's a bit unfair. If you're a
yeah.
professional footballer, you should be allowed to bet on, say, boxing or Formula One or whatever.
Well,
Yeah, I can't see the problem with that. I can't. You
because
know,
you can
but
still,
you shouldn't be able to back against your own team.
but you can still know people involved and, have. I can see for me, I'm not mad keen on gambling. Full stop. I find it
But then,
it's just a
But then you can also say the same, like a friend of a footballer shouldn't also be allowed to
Yeah,
gamble because he is friends, and that's too hard to police. It's just
yeah,
I
it's
think it should
impossible to
be the
police.
same sport.
That's the thing. It's impossible to police. So, like,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
stop it. I
Just
mean,
get your mate to put the bet on for you. Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
that's what happens. Or like Kantelski, he
That's what
just
happened with
use.
Trippier. That's actually what happened with Trippier.
Mm. Well, a lot of, or you can end up like Sturridge and just happen to
Sturridge,
mention to your
yeah.
brother you're about to you're close to making a move to one team, and your brother goes and sticks a bet on. You don't gamble, and you've never gambled in your life. You don't even, you don't drink, you don't smoke, you don't do anything like that, and then you don't even make the move in the end anyway. But you still end up getting a ban for months for breaking the rules. I mean, it is sometimes you do think some of them are a bit harsh, to be fair. But
Is Ivan Tony back after Christmas, Chris?
he's back. He can,
January 17th.
yeah, he can train.
January 17th.
What I don't understand, this is
Right.
the one thing with these betting, these bans. In Tony's case, I got it. He wasn't allowed to train for a while, and then he was allowed to train early because obviously he needs to get back in shape. So he's allowed to come back and start training a few months early. But in Tonali's case, they've allowed him to carry on training as normal. So he's not really banned, is he, from football activities? He's just banned from actually playing professional matches. That's all.
Matches, yeah.
It just doesn't seem much of a punishment, really.
No, and in his case, Tonali, he was backing against his own team and teams he was playing against. That's far worse than what Tony done.
Exactly.
As far as I know.
His thing was a lot. He was his was his is like about as bad as it gets with gambling against your own team, or matches your team's involved in. When you're betting on them, that's about as bad as it gets, because that's
it is,
only a step away from match fixing, because it only takes a little bit to go from there to match fixing. You know what I mean? When if you're getting in debt for gambling, which is easy to do.
Yeah, very much so.
Just reminds me of the story. Did you when Michael Jordan? You must know about when Michael Jordan took a year or so out to play baseball. Do you remember that? I don't know.
I remember something of it. I don't remember it well.
There's a lot of people. There's a conspiracy theory that he was actually, the league didn't want to say, the NBA didn't want to say, but he was actually banned he had gambling problems because he's a heavy he was a heavy gambler, and they were saying that was, there's a conspiracy theory that they'd actually banned him for a year, and that's why he played baseball for a year.
Okay.
Rather than because, but yeah, hasn't really affected him though. He's a multi-billionaire now. So, hasn't done him much harm, has it, gambling? It's not like
every sportsman is.
he could afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Italian one though. This is that Tonali one. It just seems like when we're speaking about harsh punishments, you just think Tony's looks really harsh in comparison.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm not sure how they decided that, but Italians just don't seem to punish anything worthwhile, do they?
No.
They completely bottle any punishment. What else have we got to discuss this week then?
The internationals.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Did
you watch any of it?
No, but we need to mention Argentina versus Brazil quickly, not just because of the obviously the problems with the fans. But also, it's McAllister afterwards, after they beat Brazil. He said it's like doing porn. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shock, that one, and they've got great players, some great Brazilian. Joe Linton got sent off, I think, in the game, didn't he? And
Well, they're
Yeah,
in
massive
next, aren't they?
shock there. Yeah, they had a bit of a match. They lost the last three, I think.
Yeah, they're not
They're
even.
halfway down the table
I was
to
going to say they're
qualify.
not in qualification. They're not actually, in the qualification
You
places.
don't know, Chris. Come on.
No,
You don't know. It's gonna be 48 teams. How many are gonna qualify now?
no.
There's still like
I was going
some
to say.
confusion.
I was reading. They've dropped out of the qualification places. That's why people are so like shocked. That's why there's so many problems going on. I mean,
I think the sixth, aren't they?
Yeah, they are six.
yeah, and there's I think five or four go through from South America.
No, but that was before when it was 32.
No,
Now
that's the
it's gonna
48.
be
That's
48.
this
No,
next one.
no, for 48 it's gonna increase because it was 4 plus 1, so it's gotta be now 5 plus 1. At
Yeah,
least.
according to the, and I'm just saying
Possibly.
what the FIFA site said is that they're not in the qualification places now. So I'm assuming FIFA would know, considering they set it up like So I can only
There's only,
take their
there's still 3 years. There's still 3 years left, so FIFA
yeah
probably don't know.
yeah, but like they will have they'll have already set the before they start it. You have to have they tell them what's they set up the how many places that each area gets is already set up before they start playing the qualifiers. They don't do it like they
Right.
used to do, where it's just made up on the hoof. They have to do it. They do it ahead of time now. So when they vote to set it up, they decide how many places each area gets as well.
Yeah, they had a bit of a mess for Brazil. Some great players, of course, but they're. Who's the manager of Brazil at the moment?
They haven't got many great players, though, have they? I mean, Alisson's the only one that stands out as. I mean, they've got Gabriel Jesus up front.
Oh,
Goal
yeah,
scorer.
awful. I will.
Richarlison, it's not a very good goal scorer either. He works hard, but he doesn't actually do a lot. He's not that skillful. He's not a goal scorer threat. He's not really that good a player, is he? When we're talking about like great Brazilian sides, he shouldn't be anywhere near.
No, he's not in that bracket. No, he's
No,
not in that bracket.
I'm trying to think who have they got that's quite Endrick
Vinicius.
maybe? Vinicius, yeah.
There's Vinicius. There's Bruno Guimaraes.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, Bruno Guimaraes.
Yeah.
Forgot about him. He's quality. But again, he's not really an attacking flair player, though, is he? No, they're lacking that real. The goal
Nene
scorer.
is injured.
Yeah,
Nene is injured.
Neymar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a ACL, so he won't be playing for a few months. Yeah, they're really lacking, and Neymar's not that good anyway. Most overrated player in years, him. He was a great
I think so,
talent
as well.
as a kid, but like he's never lived up to it at all, or come near to it for me.
No.
A quick Google search says 6 teams qualify from CONMEBOL and another team gets the Intercontinental Playoff slot.
According to the story I read on FIFA, they said they dropped out of the qualification places. That was what the story was about. Them dropping out of the
I'm telling
qualification.
you, even FIFA isn't sure.
I say it's FIFA.
They should be.
Fucking
They
good.
should be, but they're not.
Yeah, I shouldn't be surprised, should I? Guys, you can't trust anybody, can you? Let's be honest. Journalism's shocking these days. It must be said. You have to fact check everything these days, Whereas at one time you could trust things like the BBC would have fact checked it before they wrote it, but these days you read it and you think that's not true. Half the story's just bullshit. It's quite sad, really.
Did any of you watch any of the England games? I know you wouldn't be, Chris, but
Well,
God, it was awful. I watched it because there was nothing else on, and it was absolutely abysmal.
is it that bad?
Honestly, God, it was the worst I've ever seen. The players they had in the second game against Macedonia, they were playing Harry Kane in the Beckenbauer role. standing on the halfway, spreading it about, and he gives the ball away about 4 times, and 2 of them nearly resulted in goals. And if he's your playmaker, which he was against Macedonia, don't get me wrong, they played a few players who wouldn't normally get a game, Rico Lewis, players like that. But, he, he absolutely looked awful, and everyone said how bad they looked. And yet Gareth Southgate come out and saying he was very happy with the attitude and things they're in a very good place at the moment. They beat Malta 2-0. Drew with Macedonia 1-0. That's not being at the top of your game, that for me. Like.
Yeah, but Kane didn't start the game, did he? He came out. Harry Kane. He came on.
No, he didn't start. He only come on with about 10 minutes ago. And
No,
scored.
I'll check. No, not
Oh,
against Macedonia.
Oh, he's Malta.
Kane didn't score.
He scored against Macedonia. Oh no, it goes given as an own goal. He had to get answer the lad, and it went in net off him. He come on and engineered the goal, should be said.
Do they get an assist if it hits a player and then come?
Yeah,
If it's an own goal.
between the two of them. Between the two of them, but it was lastly it come off the defender, so it was down as an own goal.
No, I mean, would Harry Kane get an assist for that? It's one thing I've never actually figured out from the assist rules is if he shoots and it bounces off the post, say it's the back of the keeper's head and goes in. Yeah, does that count as an assist for the player who had the shot? Because if he does it and it goes to his own teammate and the player knocks it in, that's an assist. Counts as an assist.
Yeah.
But if it
I
hits
never really thought about that.
and it goes in as an own goal, surely that's an assist just the same as it is if it goes to one of his teammates and he scores it. Surely that's how. If he hits it against someone and it goes in, that's got to be an assist at least. That's more of an assist than some of the ones you see. I wonder. I don't actually know. So,
I said we have a preview of the games that's coming up this weekend. And starting with the Liverpool game, it should be a cracking game, really, shouldn't it?
Well,
I'm looking forward to that.
Do you know what my worry is? You've got a referee in Kavanagh who's from. I mean, obviously they decided.
Oh, here we go again.
Just a sec. They didn't want to. They didn't want to have a Mancunian in Anthony Taylor refereeing it because obviously that would be biased. So instead, they got a Mancunian in Chris Kavanagh, whose brother happens to be a Man City season ticket holder, to be the referee instead because obviously they didn't want to show any bias. I mean, for fuck's sake! I mean. How can you? It just makes no sense that it doesn't matter whether he's biased or not. The minute you put him in charge, he's under pressure. So if he's not in there to be biased, he's under pressure and he's going to make mistakes because he's under pressure. He shouldn't be under. It's the arrogance of the PGMOL putting these referees in like that. It's just wrong because it means they're going to get abuse because of it, whether it's their fault or not. Whether they make a mistake or not, they're going to get stick for because people assume it's a setup.
Yeah, but you said it's hard to referee. Are you looking forward to the game?
12:30.
Will you be watching the game?
Shit. I'll be watching it, but it'll be shit because it's an early game on a Saturday, and after international break, both teams. Half of Man City's didn't even play, did they? Because they were all injured. But I'm sure they'll suddenly miraculously recover. But, half our team.
Grealish played. Grealish played. Phil Foden played. I think man.
Yeah, but I mean, the South Americans are all having to fly back from South America. They're like late on, so they're not getting any chance to rest and recover. Really, it's ridiculous. It really shouldn't be an early. The early game shouldn't be on a Saturday after an international break. There shouldn't be one.
No.
How many's that now for Liverpool? What, 14? Nobody else has had more than 6. And they're all, but worse is they're always awful games. The early kickoffs, they're always shit. Doesn't matter who's playing, they're terrible. I don't know why, but the football is abysmal. Maybe it's because the crowd can't be bothered with it either. Because it's too early, they haven't had time to go to the pub and get pissed yet. Maybe.
I've a big shout out to RB Elliott for his performance in the 21 of the 21s. And outstanding man of the match.
Despite the Everton crowd booing him, and only him.
Oh, really? Yeah. I never seen that.
Yeah, he was the only player to get. Didn't boo any of the opposition, just Harvey Elliott. Even though there was other Liverpool players in the team. I think it was Tyler Morton.
Tyler played.
Yeah, Liverpool player, but they didn't boo him, just Harvey Elliott for some reason. I don't know why.
That's just stupid. That's just stupid.
I've never understood that. They used to do it like all the fans used to do it, England fans, when it was Man United, and they'd all be singing "Stand Up If You Hate Man U," and you're thinking these players are playing for your fucking team, you know, at least. Show them some.
At least give them a bit of respect. Yeah.
You don't have to like them, but at least give them a bit of support. Like, you know, they're playing for you. You know, what do you do? And then you're going to be complaining when they have a bad game.
Yeah, that's right.
It's ridiculous.
I believe he had a great game. Yeah, later.
Yeah,
I've never seen the game, but I believe he had a really good. Said he was man of the match.
Yeah, he got man of the match. I saw that, and he's
quite a few Evertonians were there because of the Goodison. And on the side, they were saying that you know, hats off to RB Elliott. He had a fantastic game, was man of the match. But they were talking about Brantwaite being in the under 21, so the captain, if I'm not mistaken. And they said he played okay, but man of the match by a mile was RB Elliott.
So speaking of Brantwaite, we were discussing earlier Harry Maguire before you came in, and Seamus was asking me who I'd put in the team instead of him. Obviously, you know, it looks like John Stones is going to be the first choice because he's playing for Man City and he's playing regularly and he's playing well. So, you know, you can't really argue with that. Who would you play alongside him? I said Brantwaite. What about you? Who would you go for?
I like Brantwaite. I think he's, I don't know, at this particular time he's ready. That's my biggest thing, biggest beef with it. I think he's got the potential to be England's next top centre half, but I think he's a little bit green at the moment. You know, he made a couple of mistakes the other day, giving away a penalty, possibly could have given away another one, and against Palace, was it? And he's going to be a really good talent. I just think it's a little bit early for him at the moment. But if they're looking to build towards the World Cup next year, I think he might have a shout.
Well,
but I think he's definitely got possibilities to be there.
Yeah, he's a bit green, but that's why you get him in and play some games so he gets the experience. That's what he's missing.
Absolutely. I can't see the point of playing Maguire because he shouldn't be in the side anyway. He's not good enough. But if they're looking to the future, their games when they've already qualified for the World Cup, that they should be playing now. Players who are on the fringe and looking for a bit of experience. That's what should happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's who my choice would be anyway. So I think you've got to give them game time to develop. I hate it when they only come on, you know, and you only bring kids on with the last when they're 5-0 up, and like, you know, people seem to think that's the way to develop a youngster. You don't develop them like that. They've got to go under pressure, and that's how they get better. You know, they got to make mistakes, and that's how they learn. You know. I'd
definitely be in there with the shout Brantwaite, I think, but I'm a bit biased being Evertonian.
Yeah, but I'm not an Evertonian, and I still think he should be as well. So, yeah, it's only Seamus who seems to be favouring Maguire. I don't know. Because obviously his hero, Maguire. So
Whatever.
we know how much you love him. He's a bit of a hero to you, isn't he, now? Because he's turned it around and he's now the greatest player in the world again.
Billy, did you see that video from the Ghanaian parliament?
From her tips.
Oh, the Ghanaian parliament last season there was one of the MPs criticizing him. Now he's
No,
come
no.
out and apologized.
No.
And Maguire has accepted the apology as well, as
Yeah,
it was to be accepted. That is the reason why it's part of the news.
it's really odd. Why is he even notice? You know,
You
why is
just
he?
let it happen and just get on with it. Come on.
Yeah, why is he even? You know, why is he even like? Oh, it's okay, mate.
Don't
You know,
react.
yeah, you know, it's just ignore it and get on with it, don't you? Bizarre,
Yeah.
really is. So anyway, you looking forward to the Man City Liverpool game, Seamus?
Oh, go on, tips.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that. I knew you thought I was asking you.
I did, yeah.
I heard you get ready to speak, that's why I said Seamus.
Oh, well, yeah. We're chomping at the bit there.
Sorry, I'm go-
Go on, Deepsy, you going to watch the game? Man City at Liverpool?
It's an early kickoff, so the chances are pretty low.
He'll be at work.
Oh, right, okay.
He'll be at work, sitting watching on his phone, watching TikTok and stuff, won't he?
Oh, TikTok has actually been banned in Nepal.
Yes, yeah, I saw that.
Has he, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
India and Nepal now it's been banned, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was banned in India quite a while back now,
Yeah.
but it's been banned here as well.
What was the point of that? Why did it, is it a bit corrupt for them?
No, it's
No,
just deep
TikTok is
like-
just. Go on, Chris.
I was just going to say, people like Deep spending too much time dancing and not doing any fucking work. That's why they banned it.
No. I'll let you know. I have never ever used TikTok. That's not my kind of thing.
Right,
But
okay.
the straw that broke the camel's back is one of the. I don't think it would be right to call her a female politician or a leader, but someone who is involved in some sort of politics, a female, went on. I would assume it to be a drunken escapade. I'd actually hope that it's a drunken escapade and not done in full knowledge and sanctity. But she flashed out her tits on one of her live streams. And brought the ruling government party into some kind of disrepute, and that's the main reason, or that's how
Oh,
it's
right, okay.
worded. But it's mostly to do with political viewing and agendas, people trying to push, like
Yeah.
just basically the government trying to cover its own ass and try to quieten the disruptors, I'd say.
Right, okay.
Okay. So
And
that's
please, no, please, and please, Tris, don't go searching for the woman with her tits out.
I wasn't going to because I could only imagine she's probably like 50 odd years old and
If I actually knew, I would have told you, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Can we have
didn't even
a vote on a prediction from people? You don't like predicting, Trish, so I might leave you out of this.
Are you just trying to flex your King of Predictions muscle from this season's competition?
Oh yeah, because he's winning.
I always win.
Always
That's
win.
Well,
because I
what do
don't
we,
participate. That is just because I don't participate. I let you win there.
Oh, oh, listen to him. Oh,
so
kids.
what do we think, Deeps, what do you think the score, Liverpool, Manchester City, Liverpool? Give us a score cast on that one, mate.
I think it's a tough one to call. I would, in a normal circumstance, expect a tight affair, but since it's the first game after the international break with players traveling here, there, and everywhere, and all the kickoff, and Liverpool supporters already starting to moan about everything being against them. So I think I think maybe it's gonna be a victory for Man City because it's at the empty head. So a
Right.
2-1. I'm gonna go for a 2-1 victory.
I'm going
Haaland,
for
Haaland.
I'm going
I
for 1-1 for that game. I think, as you say, both teams will be a little bit subdued after the international week, 2 week, and I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. Liverpool to score first.
Okay. Should we move on then? We got the other games of the weekend. Obviously, the ones that you'll be interested in, Billy, are the relegation battles. Burnley, West Ham.
Yeah,
Both of them could well be in the relegation battle. The way they're playing.
yeah. I think West Ham are going through a really bad time at the moment, and but
But yeah,
Luton, although they picked up a
Burnley,
little bit,
Burnley.
I think it's going. Oh, sorry, Burnley. It's going to be 2-0 to West Ham for me.
I don't see the Burnley have improved at all. They're just hopeless and like if I
no, no. They're not hopeless. Hopeless would be putting a positive spin on the
yeah, I'm
case.
trying to be
They're behind
nice.
a team. They're behind a team that got docked 10 points.
I know.
How do you let that happen when it's only 12 games of the season and you're behind a team that has minus 10 points in their books? Come on.
That's embarrassing. That really is. They've got to be the worst
That
team
is a
in
sackable
Premier League
offense.
history. It was
That
should
is
be.
a sackable offense. Company should resign now. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I think he should go.
How much longer has he got left? I mean, I'm not one. Normally, I'm one to stay. Give them time. We got to give them a couple of seasons and all that. But what he's doing is embarrassing. Surely he's got
Yeah,
to be
it
gone
is.
soon.
You'd think so. I really do. And yeah, I don't think it's far off. If he maybe he's gone till Christmas, I don't know. But if he doesn't start getting results, he'll be out. I think he'll be out by Christmas.
They've had two international breaks now, last month and this month, where they could have been the perfect time to make the change, and yet he's still there. I don't get it. Sometimes I wonder if it's a diversity quota thing now that they've been saying, that nobody's meeting the diversity quotas. Maybe the Premier League has said you can't sack him because we're going to look really bad.
Nothing could surprise me with the Premier League. Deeps, what's your forecast on that, mate?
Sorry?
What's your
Prediction.
forecast for the score? Burnley against West Ham.
I can't remember the last time Burnley scored, so maybe I'm gonna say a 3-0 victory.
For Burnley?
3-0 victory. No, 3-0 victory for West Ham.
Because they're
Right,
away,
okay.
so that'll be 0-3, you see. That's what confused me.
Burnley
Right,
can't
what's
simply score unless it's against Arsenal. Because I just remember they scored against Arsenal to make it 1-1 actually.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about that as well. Ah, yeah, so we all think that Burnley are dead and buried then. So Luton Town Crystal Palace is the next one. So you can talk about Luton now, Bill, and how they're improving.
Yeah, but they have improved a little bit. I think they've always been grafters. It's just that they haven't got much quality. But they've got a couple of little results lately, a couple of nice draws, and I expect that to be a draw, a 1-1 draw. Luton scoring first, and Palace to just pick them back.
Are Palace still struggling with injuries?
Not as many. They've got a couple back now. Elise, there's it. He's come back. He come back last week. Looks a decent player. Yeah, they've got a couple coming back, so they're not as bad as what they were. But they've still got a couple out.
Oh yeah, it says they've only got 3 out.
Yeah, so they're getting back to a bit of few injuries back, which is good for them. But I expect Luton to give a little bit of a showing and maybe a 1-1 draw.
Luton have got a bloody big list of players out. Mads
Have
Anderson,
they, yeah?
Dan Potts, Sambi Lakonga, Reece Burke, Coley Woodrow's expected to miss out, Alfie Doughty's doubtful, Benny's doubtful,
are you related?
doubtful, and Amari Bell's doubtful.
Are you related to that
Reece
Reece
Burke?
Burke?
No, he's suddenly. Ex-West Ham player.
Obviously, he must be from a different gene pool because he actually made it into professional football.
Yeah.
Athleticism is not your strong
I'm
suit.
ignoring you. I'm just ignoring you now. You're being such a bitch these days. I used to think you were a nice boy, but you turn out to be just you're a horrible piece of work, aren't you? It's just evil. That's who you are. I'm just going to go and cry in the corner. You two carry on with that.
You said Luton are improving, but they were lucky to lose 1-0 to us. They should have conceded at least 2 to just Hoyland himself.
Yeah, that's a point, yeah.
He can't score in the Prem for some reason, can he? What's going on there?
He can score from 1 yard out. Did you see that miss? I actually missed that initial 5-10 whatever minutes it was of our game. I only tuned it after some time, but we should have been 2-0 up by that.
Get Marcelo Bielsa from them.
Yeah, maybe, but he's scoring for fun in Champions League.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Just can't score in the Premier League. It's weird.
Yeah, it's no goals in the Premier League, but top scorer for the club. And top scorer in the European qualifications before this. Yeah, he was joint top scorer in the European qualifiers as well for Euros. Before this week, before this set of games. I don't know whether that's changed or not, but it's weird. He's just, and to be fair, whenever he has scored, we've lost the game. But
yeah, let's hope he scores.
But but I still hope he scores, and that stat also changes.
But that's
so go on, give me a prediction.
Crystal Palace, yeah.
I think Palace should go in as strong favourites, and I have them down for a victory because Luton lack quality.
Yeah, they certainly lack quality, but they have got fighting spirit, and
that's the kind of
that might just get them a point. Yeah, might just get them a point.
So we'll move on to Newcastle-Chelsea, and we're talking about injuries. Have you seen Newcastle's injury list? I mean, obviously Tonali's suspended, but they got Jacob Murphy out, Dan Burn, Callum Wilson, Elliot Anderson, Sven Botman, Harvey Barnes, Lewis Hall, Bruno Guimaraes is suspended for 5 yellow cards. Almiron's doubtful.
Already?
Fabian Schär's doubtful. Fabian Schär's doubtful. Doubtful. Sean Longstaff is doubtful. Alexander Isaac is doubtful. Manquillo's out, and Matt Target's out. So they haven't got better. I mean, it'd probably be quicker to say who's fit.
Yeah, who's in? You should have just read out who's in.
Yeah, Chelsea are also missing a few. I mean, Fofana's out. Chilwell's
out.
But
they have 100 players. They have 100 players. So 50 injuries.
Yeah, that's the point.
Lavia's doubtful but could be back. Colwell's doubtful. Gusto's doubtful. And Kunku's on his way back but still doubtful. Chalaba's out. And Chukwuemeka's out. Mecca.
That'll be a five-a-side game. I see that be a five-a-side.
There's not many left, is there?
Oh, no.
How have Newcastle got so many injuries? That's astonishing. And to have somebody suspended for 5 yellow cards already, that takes some doing. Especially as he gets away with a lot as well, him.
Yeah, he got away with the sending off. Look at it.
Should have had a red card against Arsenal. So it should have been 3 games missing. It's lucky it's only 1 game.
Yeah, it's a 4-round smash.
Well, and
Yeah, him and Havertz should send the referee some Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of red cards this season, but no offense were as egregious as those two.
It's got to be said, so the worst offences don't seem to get red cards.
Yeah, Havertz should be he should be charged for criminal assault. He was in there to injure. That's a horrendous tackle. Arsenal supporters can moan as much as they want, but
that was one of the worst. That's the worst tackle I think of this season in the Premier League. I think that's definitely the worst.
Easily the worst.
Yeah, and yet he didn't even get a booking, did he?
I'm not sure whether he got booked or not, Jeff.
I'm sure he didn't get a booking, did he, in the end for that one?
I know. I'm a United supporter, so I'm happy that he didn't get a red card and he won't be suspended and he can play for Arsenal.
You want him to play, but not at left back. No, I mean even if it's left back, like
left back. Let's play him at left back. Maybe that's the position for him.
Maybe that's
because he's no good in attack and midfield.
Well, Arteta will try anything these days, won't he?
I think he's gonna play in goal pretty soon.
I was taking a drink then, thanks. I had to stop myself from spitting it everywhere.
Well, I'm calling it 1-0 to Chelsea. I think Newcastle going to really struggle with that many injuries. I know Chelsea have got injuries, but home advantage. But a little 1-0 victory to Chelsea for me.
Chelsea should be riding the high of a draw. A 4-4 draw against Man City.
Yeah, so I think they'll just snatch it against a below par Newcastle. What do you think, Tips?
They have been playing better, you say, but Chelsea seem to struggle against teams that don't come at them.
Yeah, Newcastle probably won't because they only got half a side.
Yeah,
I think a trip to St James's Park has been always a tricky one for Chelsea, and I think it's gonna be a tight affair, maybe a 2-1 victory to Newcastle United for me.
Chelsea will never get a better chance, though, will they, to beat them soundly than this? With half a team, with like 3/4. In fact, it's like a full team out, isn't it? Injured, so.
Yeah.
So we move on to Forest.
Your game to watch this weekend, Chris. You must be rubbing your hands. Deserve is Brighton.
New Tottenham Forest versus Brighton. Yeah, exciting. Yeah. How is De Zerbi still so highly? Never mind. Yeah, we've already started on that one.
How is there so much positivity around him still after no wins in 5?
Yeah, but apparently he's the new Pep Guardiola, and he's going to be taking over.
I'm all for
Guardiola retires and all that.
I'm all for that. I'm all for him taking over at Man City. Come on,
it'd be like a handicap.
That will be leveling the playing field a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give us all a chance. Put De Zerbi in charge. Right, I think with the money they've got, they'd still find a way to win. Just grease a few palms. But yeah, they're Brighton. I mean, they're missing a few players as well. Solly March, Danny Welbeck,
They're long-term absentees. They're
yeah,
both long-term
Espinola,
absentees.
Enciso Espinola, Dahoud suspended, Mitoma's doubtful, Lamptey's
Mitoma.
out, Esteban's out, Milner's out, Dunk's out. Though I'm not sure that that's a minus, to be honest, because he's shit. And Evan Ferguson's
Oh,
doubtful as
Dunk
well.
is good. Dunk is decent for them.
I don't like him.
Yeah, I
Or
like
like
Doug.
him
I think
before.
Doug's alright.
He makes mistakes galore though, and he costs them goals regularly. Anyway, Forrest are also missing a few. Awoniyi's just had to have a operation on his groin, so he's out for a long term as well, which they'll
Oh, is
really
he?
miss because he's a really good
They
player.
too have 100. They do have 100 players on the books, so 15 there is nothing.
Yeah. Hudson-Odoi's out. Yeah, but they don't have many attacking goal scorers, so anybody that's attacking like him and Awoniyi and Hudson-Odoi, they're in trouble.
Awoniyi is a
Alanga's-
miss because Alanga is gonna be all alone without Awoniyi, and he gives them pace and power and some
Yeah.
goal threat as well.
And no Hudson-Odoi on the opposite flank, so Alanga might not even be. He's late fitness test. He's got to have. Murillo's out. No, late fitness test he'll have as well. Danilo's gonna have to have a late fitness test. Felipe's doubtful, and Montiel's doubtful as well. So
Yeah, but with these South Americans, you have to wonder whether they're injured or they're Man City injured.
yeah, that's true. But I don't think a lot of them were called up for the national team. But yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, they have got a lot of players, but they haven't got a lot of quality backup. You know what I mean? They've still got the nucleus of a weak, the team that was struggling in the championship when Cooper stepped in and rescued them from. I mean, they were bottom of the table when he stepped in, and took
5 losses.
Yeah, and they ended up winning the division and getting them.
Well, I'm going for a one-all draw in that game. 1-1 draw for me. Nottingham Forest. I know they've got injuries and they haven't got the greatest quality, but what they have got is fighting spirit, and I think the Zabi's Brighton and on all that. So I'm going for a 1-1 draw. How about you, Deeps?
Surely, I make fun of Deservi and his poor run, but surely that has to come to stop somewhere somehow. And with the international break, maybe he's gotten back to working with his players, had some fruitful sessions and all that. So a 2-1 victory to Brighton.
Okay.
And then we've got Sheffield United versus Bournemouth next. Relegation 6-pointer there for definite. This will be one that'll have been of interest for you, won't it, Bill? Hey? But Dave,
I won't be watching that game, that's for certain. I can't see me watching that.
Sheffield United look in trouble. I mean, they're missing Basham, Max Lowe, Ahmedhodzic is doubtful. McBurney, well, sadly, he might play, so that could be a problem. But he's out, so they can hope he's out. Rooster's out. Norrington Davis is out. Egan's out. Tom Davis is out. Or I'm not sure whether
that's it. That's
a,
made me mind up.
And Jefferson should be back now. Jefferson should be back because he was ill. Whereas Bournemouth are only missing Tyler Adams. I don't think has he played for them yet.
No, he's not.
He's been pretty much injured. They bought him injured. That Alex Scott, who's the biggest pussy I've ever seen play football. Sorry, I shouldn't say. He should use a different word to. Him. Have you ever watched him? No, I mean, he's just wuss, wimp, whatever you want to call it. I've never seen anything like it. anybody gets within 20 yards of him and he's screaming in pain and in agony, rolling around on the floor, even when nobody's touched him. So they've said he's ruled out with a bad injury long term, but like he could have just grazed his knee and he'd be ruled out. Let's be honest. I've never seen anything. He's awful. I couldn't have him in my team. I no, I would hate to have him in my team. I tell you.
I'm going for Bournemouth for a 1-0 win, yeah. I'm not Bournemouth's biggest fan, but I think Sheffield United are absolutely dying. And they had a nice win last week, Bournemouth, the last game they played. So I'm going for a 1-0 win for Bournemouth in that one. Seamus, what do you think?
I think Sheffield United are almost as bad as Burnley.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
They lack quality. They actually, whenever I've watched them, maybe sometimes in highlights, sometimes half a game, sometimes full game. They lack desire, fire, determination, hunger, all those things. So
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised they've not had a change of managers. And Bournemouth have started to get some results now. Solanke has started to score goals for them. They've started to get some positivity around the club. So I think it's a good shout from you, Billy, to go for a 1-0 victory. But I think it's gonna be a comeback win for Bournemouth, 2-1 or a 3-2. If I have to put money
Okay.
across, I'm gonna go with another 2-1 victory as well, or a 1-2 victory for Chris's completion.
Right, okay.
Okay, then
So that you can understand what I'm trying to say.
it's just to be sure, like, you know what I mean. Anyway, should we move on to the last game of the Saturday? Is Brentford Arsenal. Well, of course, they can't. Arsenal can't play Raya because they haven't completed his permanent signing yet, so he can't face them. So
Oh wow! You went through all this trouble to drop Ramsdale now.
yeah, now you got to
He's
pick him.
Yeah.
Arteta.
Yeah, after all the comments and that, and then they're also missing players like Party and that, aren't they? And Vieira
Can they actually
suspended.
play Raya? Can they actually play Raya if they announce the
Yeah, but
deal to be
if you,
permanent?
I'm quite sure that was the deal. If Brentford wouldn't sell him before the game, I bet you
Right, so
they
Ah,
wouldn't
okay.
accept. Yeah, they wouldn't do the deal. I'll guarantee you they wouldn't accept the sale going through before the game.
Arsenal for me are still in a fourth position. They're not a good side at the moment, Arsenal. They're missing a centre forward big time. Jesus is, I don't know whether he'll be back for the to play after the midweek exits, but he's awful anyway. And they haven't got someone who can really put the ball in the net. Eddie Nketiah is the best option, I suppose, but he's still unconvincing at the moment for me, Nketiah. I think they're going to struggle to score.
But
Saka is having a nightmare at the moment.
haven't Brentford got the same problem?
Yeah, they're missing Tony big time, but they do seem to, be able to score. That hasn't been the biggest problem for them. They have still got goals in them, I believe. And, I'm saying that Brentford might turn Arsenal over. I'm going for 2-1 to Brentford.
Seamus?
Billy, you do know that we're quite a curse on Eddie Nketiah, right? Every time someone slanders his name on the podcast, he goes and scores. Chris called him out. He scored a hat trick that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, at least said he should have been sold, and he went out and scored a hat trick. I'm just saying. From there on, I'm not gonna say anything bad about Nketiah. But I think
But you know you want him.
I think it's a tough game to call actually because Brentford have played like have gotten more readers than I would have expected from them at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And I think since it's a game after the international break, I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Okay, so we're on to the Sunday
Yeah.
games now then. So that's the first one is Spurs versus Villa.
That's going to be a very close game for me. Villa are playing well. Tottenham are doing okay.
They've
Regressed
got
a little
quite
bit.
they've got quite a list of injuries as well at Tottenham. Key
Yeah.
injuries. Van
Okay.
der
Have you
Ven
got
is injured.
Pinterest?
Yeah, they're missing Perisic, Van der Ven's the big one. Madison looks to be
Yeah.
out. Sessignon doesn't really matter. Solomon. Richarlison looks likely to miss out as well. Romero's
Now
suspended,
Solomon will.
isn't he?
Yes, and
Well,
also
Ambisuma, yeah. Destiny
what's his name?
Adogi's still out, isn't he? Oh no, he's possible. He's potentially back. So he makes a difference. Good player, him.
With Richarlison out, you would have think maybe that Solomon would get a look in, but now he's also out potentially. They're gonna have to figure their defense out, and you don't want to play against from Oliver Watkins and Aston Villa when your defense is all just made up of sticks and papers.
Yeah, at the moment they're
Yeah.
in good form, aren't they?
Yeah. I think Villa are a decent side. I'm going to go for a Villa win 2-0. I think Tottenham are going to struggle.
I'm going for another 2-1. So many 2-1s I've gone for. At least one has to come true, right?
2-1 to who? Tottenham.
2-1 to Aston Villa.
Oh, 2-1 to Arsenal.
So 1-2
Okay.
then.
Yeah, 1-2.
I'm going 0-2.
So the
I'm
next
going
one.
0-2.
So the final
Main
game on
event.
Sunday is the little game. Nobody's
Standing,
really bothered about
standing
this
in the blue corner.
Nobody cares about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it's the recently
It's the
fine.
the weaker sides, Manchester and Merseyside face off, but nobody really cares, do they? So we just move past that. What's on Monday?
This is going to be an epic match for Everton on Sunday. They'll be really up for it. The crowd will be up for it.
Right.
There's planes going to be in the sky. There's going to be riots. There's going to be everything. And Everton will win 2-0 against what I consider to be one of the poorest United sides I've seen for a while, even under Ollie. I don't think they were much worse than this. I'm going for 2-0
really?
win to Everton. Go on.
Oh, Billy, don't you remember? I think the worst Manchester United performance I've ever witnessed is the one at Goodison under Ole, that 4-0.
So not so
Yeah,
you think
years with it.
that's worse than the 7-0 defeat against Liverpool.
No, that 7-0 is an anomaly. That 4-0 is a horrendous performance.
I would say they were both pretty horrendous, basically.
Yeah, but Chris, come on. Just forget about the rivalry. Liverpool scored 7 and Everton scored 4. Which one is the bigger surprise?
Yeah, it's a fair point,
Which one is the bigger
It
surprise?
is a big shock.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
fair,
it
fair
is.
point there. Actually, you're making a very fair point. I'll let you have that one.
So I'm going 2-0 to the resurgence. Very fired up Blues. 2-0. Calvert-Lewin to get the first goal, and an own goal by Harry Maguire for the second.
I do think you've got a good point about the crowd will be really up for this.
Oh yeah, they will. Absolutely.
Is it true that Sky Sports have said they're going to mute the sound in the 10th minute, the crowd noise?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah, that's it.
Yes, because they intending to start singing about the FA and that, haven't they? Because obviously 10 points, 10th minute. The
All right, okay.
the Sky Sports said they're gonna, either lower or mute the sound according to all the stories going around.
All right. There's going to be quite a few banners and a lot of singing and a lot of chanting and a lot of swearing, I'd imagine. So, we'll
Not a
have to
lot
see
of
what goes
dancing, I
on.
think.
What's your forecast on that game, Keith?
I think you are underestimating the most informed team in the league right now, Billy.
All right, okay. Yeah, yeah, they have been getting results, actually, even though not playing very well. They have been getting
Yeah,
results.
we've accumulated 12 out of 15 possible points in the last 5 games.
Yeah.
I, I'm not gonna say our opposition was bad or we were lucky or whatever. On paper, we should have won those games or whatever. We the informed team, and
Right, okay.
I think the performance is there is like just starting to come some semblance of a decent performance. So here, there. So
But
maybe if we can stitch something together, then
yeah, but
surely we can beat a team that's 19th in the league right
yeah,
now.
but you've got to remember you've got Everton have virtually got no injuries to worry about. Nothing really major. I think Seamus Coleman is the only player who might possibly start. Oh, Anana is a doubt, but that's it. I mean, Dele Alli and Andre Gomez ain't gonna get near the team anyway, are
No,
they?
can't.
Oh,
No.
I
But
thought
Man
it was
United
gonna
are
be
missing
an Onana
Casemiro,
derby.
Martinez,
Oh
Evans
shit!
looks to be
I thought
out.
it was gonna be. I thought
Ericsson,
it was gonna be Onana derby, but both Onanas are doubtful.
yeah, Anana, Hoyland, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, there and
Shaw and Martinez are
Palestri
back in training.
are all yeah, they're all still doubts to play though. Malaysia is definitely out. Ericsson's definitely out. They're saying Sancho definitely out. Traore, Ahmed Diallo, it's Ahmed Diallo, isn't it? I was trying to figure out who that was then, and then I realised Diallo. Yeah, he's out as well. Well, see, you've got quite a few out, so that could have an effect.
Yeah,
But
but we've been dealing with severe injury problems all season.
yeah, but it's changing the goalkeeper. You haven't exactly. Who's your backup?
Altay
You,
Bayindir, who had a stormer of a game against Germany,
oh,
apparently.
yeah, he's supposed to be good, so maybe that won't be such a bad thing. Maybe it'll be a chance for him to shine and show what he can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also Onana is doubtful. He's not been ruled out, so
Yeah,
maybe he starts. Or maybe
I
this
hope
is
he
the perfect
plays.
time for us. Maybe this is the perfect time for us to have a look at Bayindir, especially given the fact that Onana is now probably going to go to AFCON as well.
yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
sure it's a negative having a Nana out for
I don't think
international
so either.
obviously. It's one of those where he's not exactly playing well enough to deserve his place anyway. So
No.
Luke Shaw is back in training, and Martin is also returned to some form of training, although he's training alone.
yeah,
Well, and I'm really wondering what's up with Malasia. There is no concrete news about his injury. There is no timeline and anything. Now I'm starting to wonder if it's more than just injuries. Maybe there's something going on in the background. Has he has he been punished by Ten Hag?
well, he was supposed to only be a few weeks. They were saying in August with a knee injury,
Yeah,
and
he
then
was he was supposed to be back at the start of the season when we were in preseason, and then like he's still not fit, and then there is no real like it's not been clear what kind of injury it is and why it's taking so
well,
long. Whether it's a setback, whether it's a reoccurrence,
yeah, no,
whether
it's
it's just one same injury.
yeah, whether it's the same knee injury problem. You're right. I was just looking see it. I'll look at one of the others because there's a few different ones there. Sometimes
And with Ten Hag, he has shown that no player is off limits from his punishments of sorts. So I'm starting to wonder if there is something in the background.
I'm just checking a few of the other sites, see if there's anybody who's got anything listed. Yeah,
Because we have to remember he was in August. He was said like weeks, maybe month. Then Saw gets injured, and we immediately go out and bring in a backup left back. So they were aware that it's not gonna be a matter of a game or two. It was gonna be quite long. So let's see what happens in the window.
So what's your scorecast? What do you think, Deeps?
just said no, doesn't say anything. They haven't got anything either. Nobody's got anything on him.
Yeah, nobody is sure what's happening actually. So with the injury, so I'm now starting to wonder if it's just an actual injury or something else.
Could well be
And
nobody's got anything. Yeah.
I think we're just gonna go out and take revenge for that 4-0 with a 1-0 victory.
Okay.
Another 1-0 for United, a scrappy goal. Maybe even an undeserved goal.
It doesn't matter how they come, mate. Doesn't matter, does it? Let's face it.
No, does it
A
all
win is a
now?
win is a win.
Yeah.
And then the final game of the week, well, the Monday night game. Is there a Tuesday night game? Fulham West Ham is the
There are games on Tuesday, but I don't
Champions
think
League, isn't
Liverpool
it?
are ever gonna play Tuesday or Wednesday this season.
Well, you won't be in there
So
much
it's-
longer the way you're going, so I wouldn't be gloating too much.
What?
So it's
We
Fulham
just
West
need
Ham
to win
then.
our 2 games. We just need to win our 2 games,
Well,
and then
yeah.
we're through. I'm telling you, we've been so poor this season, but we're not out of anything
Yeah.
except the EFL Cup, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fulham,
Right, so-
Wolves. My prediction is there's gonna be one more apology to Wolves after this game.
Probably. Has there been a game
If
where they
any-
haven't had an apology?
Yeah, if if anyone wants to make a bet, that's the safest bet.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
So did you say it was Fulham West Ham or Fulham Wolves?
Wolves.
Oh, I thought you said West Ham.
No, Wolves. West Ham we've already done, mate.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
Wolves. That is why the
I thought you
apologies.
said West Ham.
No, Wolves, mate. Wolves. That's why we're saying
Okay.
the apology.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, yeah.
Did you get a bet on that? Because, like, I don't gamble, but
You should be able to.
that's not really a gamble, is it? To put a bet on
No.
getting an apology for the PGMOL again.
I'm going to go for a Wolves 1-0 win at Monday. I think they're a decent side, Wolves.
Yeah,
And it's a really hard look. And I don't think Fulham are all that. So I'm going for a 1-0 win. for
Fulham
Wolves.
are awful. The only thing I'd say in against Wolves, I would point out that Neto's out, still injured, and Craig Dawson's suspended for 5 yellow cards. And he's very
Very
much
fair.
their leader at the back, so that's 2 key players they're going to be missing. But apart from that, I can't see any reason to suggest Fulham got a chance.
How about you, Deep? What you think for that one?
1-1. I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Fulham are gonna get a penalty. Yeah, Fulham are gonna get a penalty, or Wolves are gonna get a goal ruled out unfairly. And then there's gonna be an apology. And you're gonna call me a genius for hitting the nail on the
Yeah. Yeah. So it's almost for today, is it? Have we talked our way around all the games and talking points of the week?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I mean, the Everton thing was the big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not sure how the appeal's going to go. I know we're appealing. We put our appeal in, and it may get a bit of a reduction, possibly. I don't know.
Like I said, I just don't think it really matters, to be honest, because like you're not going to go down. So
I don't think so. But stranger things happen in football. Oh, it's going to be a talking point for a while now, isn't it? Especially with the other people who are involved. Team suing and all that. It's still got a lot of mileage on the clock for me. And we're just going to have to watch this space and see what happens.
oh, there is one more thing we got. Obviously, we nearly missed out the Wayne Rooney being turned down for a statue at Derby. Well, no,
Oh,
Freedom
nice.
of the City, wasn't it? That was it. Freedom of the What the fucking hell were they giving him? I mean, as soon as the money ran out, he pissed off. As soon as they started, as soon as the money jumped ship, he's hardly like he deserves anything. What did he actually do? Nothing, and he's shown his shit at the job. So at Birmingham, he's proven himself to be even worse than shit.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure why he was even up for any kind of award anyway. It's strange, that one.
That is strange, yeah. Yeah, they should have nothing sort of back intent in my opinion.
Yeah, I don't get it. But so anyway, so by the end of this weekend, Everton will be out of relegation places, we think, and
Yeah, I reckon, yeah.
yeah, I can't see anything. But and Man City will be. You think Man City will be romping away with the title, don't you, Deeps?
I don't.
No, Seamus does though. Think so?
Yeah, it's.
Be running away with it by then.
Yeah, the thing is,
the mileage.
the thing is, City have at some level of struggle. Like they've not been completely fluent and fluid with their play, but ultimately they're top of the table.
Yeah, they still find ways
They,
to pay
they
the
score for,
referees. I mean, to
yeah.
win.
there's scope for improvement in their performance. Yet they're already top. So just like last season, I think we have to have them as huge favorites.
Yeah, you can go on a run. You can go on a run of unbeaten games, and I don't think they're as good as they were last year. And I still think Liverpool have got a big stay in the outcome of the league. That's my view.
Szoboszlai, hopefully he'll do another one of them runs down the wing and cut in and score at Cristiano Ronaldo, as you said. Seamus thinks he's like Cristiano Ronaldo, but better, obviously.
Better in defensive places, yeah.
That's better. I'll take that. That's better. You've said
Right,
it
boys,
now.
I'm going to get off and get me tea. I'm having sausage casserole with mac cheese, I think. So that'll be me
Sounds good.
on the couch for the rest of the night.
Yeah,
So
mate.
thanks very much, boys. It's been
Alright,
a blast,
Anthony.
and I'll see you next Thursday.
Take care, mate. See you next
Yeah.
Thursday.
Good night, boys. Yeah, ta-ra, Dave, ta-ra, Trish.
See you next Thursday.
Yeah, thank you everyone listening.
Ta-ra.
See you next Thursday. Bye bye.
Ta-ra.